Master slave dialectic is perhaps the most important Hegelian thesis from a societal and political point of view. As a means of dialectic, it is often viewed as a tool, but because it sheds light on real functioning of society, Hegel's thesis is more than just Dale Carnegie's tips on how to convince people. It is the metaphysics of speech, or more strictly, political speech itself. It is very hard to understand Hegel. He is one of the writers whom you will miss out on if you don't know his thesis and the context around it, extending at least as back to Plato and around the globe, and as far as to Rene Guénon or Evola as a whole. As such, it is impossible to define his thesis in few words or videos, but it can still be appreciated, though Hegel himself offers a very brief outlook of this thesis. Yet such a thesis written in few paragraphs is the sole force behind Marxist dialectic, and frankly speaking, all dialectic. The few mysterious, verbose paragraphs contain information that clearly needs to be dissected. But before doing that, let's understand who is the master and who is the slave. Take a thing as simple as a normal conversation. In a normal conversation that is aimed at achieving an end, differences in opinions on how to achieve that end would naturally arise. With natural differences in opinions, for any solution to objectively occur, one party to the conversation must submit to authority of the other over the matter. For if they remain equivalent, then the solution is unreachable. Ideally, the party who wins and gains authority over the matter we believe should be the one we expect to be closer to the truth regarding the matter or any standard that we use to settle debates. That side is the master. For any conversation to be meaningful, it must create some effective change. If it does not, it is no different than random noises because it has no objective. But for any change to occur, the other position, whatever it is, must lose. You might even say that is true for a music concert, in which you expect your dullness to go away and the soothing tones produced rhythmically grant you some type of joy. Imagining all events like this in a sort of eternal war seems rather frightening and discomforting, but it is still true. And that is the reason why we don't see many amicable discussions now, because we presume a conversation is about politeness or many other things, when any meaningful conversation is about a semi state of war of ideas. Because no one wants to admit himself as a loser to a genuine heartfelt talk or any euphemism that is applied to debates and such. What we see nowadays is debates dwindling just to noises from either side, without a standard that both sides follow. No one yields to other because in absence of same standards, it is hard to judge who won or who lost. It is like comparing running speed of someone to arm strength of the other. Aside from bizarre calculations establishing some kind of supremacy of one over the other, there is no way to determine what counts as a winner. Such extends to every meaningful relationship. In a nutshell, you might see this as what Jordan Peterson describes when he talks about hierarchy. But it is not just that. While hierarchy does involve a master slave relationship, discussion about hierarchies often miss the core discussion of the dialectics that play in the relationship. It can often be posed as a question that is taken for granted. Why doesn't a king's bodyguard kill the king? While king is surely more powerful than a normal guard, he is not invulnerable at all times, and sometimes a simple guard can have more power over him. Killing the king gives the guard a chance to be the king, and even if he does not become the king, he would at least perform an exceptional feat, dethroning perhaps the most powerful man in the country. Of course, people would immediately reply that he does not do this perhaps because of his own loyalty, or because he fears he would be punished by people loyal to the king, even when the king has died. But why would all king's subordinates sympathize with the person on the top, even when that person is not alive to give them any benefit of that loyalty? It is because the common unison of all subordinates of the king is in the king himself. Their identity as his subordinates is defined by the presence of him. Think of this thing and hold it as we move to the next section.